is Tina from Shabbydabbydoodah. Welcome back to my channel. So I'm here for a bit of a play. Now this has been inspired very much by a video from Tanya over at Tatty Treasure. Tatty Treasure. Sorry, I get confused because there's obviously Martina over at Teal and Tattered, and then obviously Tanya over at Tatty Treasures. So yes, this is an idea inspired by Tanya over at Tatty Treasures. And she was making like scraggedy, like decorative. She didn't know really what to call them either. She'd kind of wondered about belly bands, but they weren't really belly bands. So yeah, they're just these little fabric kind of pieces. And when I was watching it, I thought, oh, I'd like to have a play with those and see what things we could come up with. Incorporating our little kind of vintage circles, because I thought what we could do then is use them as like decorative pieces to put onto pockets. Obviously this is not probably making a great deal of sense until I actually try and make one. So yeah, let's do that. And hopefully this will all be a bit more making sense. So what I've got here are some upholstery fabric samples. I'll just get those little frayed bits off of there. Oops. Well, not really done a brilliant job, but anyway, let's see if I can get them off with the sticky side. Okay, so these are some upholstery fabric samples. Now, I've used these loads and loads of times. I was lucky enough to buy some when a shop was closing down, and yeah, so I've got lots of these. And these hopefully are going to be just perfect for this. Now, the only thing is, I'm not sure how tearable these are going to be because they are like an upholstery fabric. So yeah, I'm not sure that these are going to tear very easily. And obviously, I do really like that raggedy edge look. So I'm just going to see. Yeah, I mean, ooh, you'd need very strong thumbs, I think. So yeah, I'm not going to be able to tear those at all, which is a bit of a shame. So what I'm going to do instead is just have, now, I'm thinking, cut these, let me see if I can, oh no, I thought perhaps if there was a bit more to play with I might be able to do it, but no. So I'm going to cut this into 3, like that. Okay, and then this one here, oops, like that. Now again, doesn't matter at all if this is a little bit tatty, not straight, it's fine. It's not going to matter at all. I mean, like I say, actually I would have preferred this to be a bit more straggly. I don't know whether this would even rough up a little bit. Well, it is a bit. So yeah, I mean, it's not brilliant. It's not kind of roughing up as much as I would like, but it's got potential to be a bit ruffled up, I suppose. So yeah, let's just kind of do that. And this one, obviously, I can do both edges because the edge has not been pink and sheared. That's how they obviously came to me, with the pink and sheared edges. Okay. So that's that one. Then I've got this one. So, of course, what I might do, in fact, is just snip off that pink and sheared edge because, it's, it's pretty enough. But, yeah, it's not really going to give that scraggedy, raggedy look that I would really like to get. So, let's just cut that down there. And then this one here. Okay. Yeah, personally for me, I just think this one looks straight away a lot nicer, being more roughed up than those neat pink and sheared edges. I'm not that keen on that look. But, I can see that wouldn't necessarily be everybody's taste. I think a lot of people would probably prefer the neatness of the pink and sheared edges. But yeah, for me, I think that the rough edges look better. Now, I've now got bits all in my tea, so I'll just take those out. Right, let's have a sip of tea. Okay, now, I'm then thinking, layer this up with, some little decorative strips. Now, I was thinking put the lace on top, but now I'm thinking actually, we can have some and some, but yeah, mix them kind of like this. So for instance, this, I mean, how pretty does that look? It's a bit like a choker, actually. Yeah, I hadn't thought that previously, but to be honest, now I've put it down on there, I think, oh, it looks a bit like a choker. So all I'm going to do is just glue this down. Oops, if my glue's going to cooperate, I'm going to glue it down. It's just that this is the first time I've used my glue today, so yeah, it's now not obviously not cooperating great. Right. Oh, come on. Okay. Oh, I knew that would happen. Look, suddenly I've got a great big blob. Right. Okay. So all I want to do is obviously be able to then take this to the sewing machine. So just stitching that through the middle like that. Now, obviously you can see, you know, this lace very, very scraggly, indeed. So yeah, I need to tidy it up. Again, I'm not looking for, you know, necessarily straight lines as such, but I don't want, for instance, you know, this weird thing that I've got going on here. So just get rid of that like that. Okay. So how pretty does that look? Like I say, I mean, to me, that just looks a bit like a Victorian type choker. And then what I've got are obviously my little circles. And I thought we could just have those in the middle, like a, you know, like a choker, I suppose. So going to edge this now. What do I want to edge it with is the question. Do we want to just ink it? Do we want to edge it with maybe some metallic or some patina, or yeah, let's just have a look. Oh, do you know, I'm going to just reach for my favourite thing at the moment, which is of course that little Bryant paint stick in the gold. Actually, just before I do that, best actually ink it with the ink, because otherwise of course when I come to ink it, the paint will be smudging everywhere. So yeah, sometimes it's all about getting the order right, isn't it? And yeah, I so nearly didn't. Okay, and then just ink around the edges. Not ink, sorry, paint around the edges with the gold. Okay. I mean, how gorgeous does that look? I love how that looks. So at this point, I'm not decided whether I want to actually glue this on here and then stitch straight through, or whether I would actually rather stitch, you know, stitch this piece and then glue this on afterwards. Oh, I don't know. Do you know, I might make a couple, you know, some glued on first, some glued on afterwards. And I might also, you know, glossy accent some, not glossy accent some. You know, so we've got a few different types going on. So let's put that to one side. Okay, let me just mop this up. So let's do a black one. I know, I mean, the black's not probably overly showing up, but it hopefully will, you know, in a minute. It's just, actually, I'm going to take this edge off. Let me just check where I need to cut it, because I don't want to cut it so small that it's just not going to be, you know, visible. Oops, behind that velvet. So yeah, let's take that off. Okay, right. So I'm going to glue this down on here. Oh, look now what's happened. I wonder if this one's a bit thinner. Oh, maybe I've done it a bit too. Yeah, might have overdone that. Oh, I should have not torn it, because I think what's happened is where I've torn it, it's actually stretched it out and, you know, become longer rather than wider, if that makes sense. So let me just see if I can pull it around a bit. If not, I'm going to have to actually just cut some. Well, let's give this a try. I mean, it doesn't have to be hugely poking out, does it, I suppose? So let's just take this and, yeah, glue that down there. Like that. Again, just then snip that down here. Oops, like that. And then for this one, I'm thinking actually maybe one of the vintage circles rather than the florals, because I think perhaps the vintage ones would look better against the black. So let's just have a look. Oops. What have I done with those now? Sorry about this now. Of course I can't now find them. What have I done with those? Well, perhaps we'll just have to go with a floral one, as I'm struggling to find the vintage ones. So let's just do this one. Okay. So I mean, that looks really pretty actually on there, doesn't it? Morning, sweetie. So again, just pop that down just in that centre there. Okay. Oh, and I forgot to now gold the edge of that. Well, it doesn't matter, does it? I mean, it looks fine. So this one here, let's do the black again, shall we? But this time try not to muck it up so much. So I think what I'll do is actually glue it onto here first. Oops. And then cut. So yeah, I'm going to glue it on and then cut around it. So like that. And like that. Okay. So that was just my son. He obviously just got up to have a shower. He's supposed to be at college today, but I'm not sure why he's not there. Sometimes they can do their college work from home, so maybe that's what he's doing this morning. I didn't obviously dare wake him up because they get so stroppy, don't they, if you try and wake them up and then they say, oh mum, I wasn't going today, you know. So you have to just trust that they know best. I mean, he's 19, so yeah, I'm sure he does know what he's doing and doesn't need his mum kind of interfering. And yeah, I mean, anyone who's got kids, I'm sure that you totally know what I'm talking about, where you think you're doing the best for your children and then, you know, you just get told off for, you know, oh, why have you woken me up? I wasn't going today, you know, even though they haven't maybe told you that previously or anything. So you think you're helping them by obviously then, you know, going in and waking them up, but no. So yeah, I thought I'd best just leave him to get on with it. Right, I'm just having another quick look to see if I've got any more of the vintage ones, because yeah, I really would prefer to use the vintage ones. I think I've only got the vintage ones here on vellum, which is probably not going to be great. Oh, actually, it doesn't look too bad. I thought that was going to be really awful, but yeah, it doesn't look too bad. Now, I'm not sure whether my... Okay, right, okay. So, oh, that does look okay, actually. Yeah, I had a horrible feeling that that was not going to really want to stick on there or, you know, show up on there. But actually, it looks fine. So, let's try not to have quite so much glue. Oops. So, again, I'm just going to put this down, but I will be stitching through this. Like that. Okay. So, again, just mop that up. So let's do a couple more in a different colourway, so that we've just got a few different, you know, different looks going on. So I've got this navy blue here. Oh, I've got a terrible headache today. I don't know why, but yeah, hopefully it's not going to last all day. Some days you just get headaches, don't you, for like no reason. Okay, right. So again, just going to cut this into thirds. I mean, you don't have to use the upholstery fabric. You know, I'm just using this because I happen to have this. You know, so yeah, it kind of like, you know, lent itself to doing this. But, you know, I mean, you could always use any fabric that you've got. It does not have to be this at all. Okay, just again cut those pinking sheared edges off. Like I say, I mean, when I bought them, that's how they were, was pinking sheared, you know. So, you know, and I get that there's probably lots of people who actually think, oh, why are you cutting that off? It looked way better with the pinking sheared edges. But yeah, I just probably for me, I think I prefer the slightly more scraggly, tatty looking edge. So, right, let's now put this all in the bin. I'm just going to finish my tea. Okay. Oh, honestly, it's lucky that I'm a guzzler when it comes to tea. Okie dokie. Right, let's see what lace that we might want to use for this. Oh, sorry, I'm just rummaging to the side of me because I've got some lace on the floor there. Just seeing what I've got. Let's just bring in my little bag. Okay. Perfect. Right, absolutely perfect. I've also got my crochet lace, which of course we could use that. Yeah, well let's have a look and see kind of how it turns out with the two different laces. So, how come you're not at college then today, darling?
I'm doing it online.
You're doing it online. Yeah. I said that he might be doing it online, didn't I? So yeah, that's what he's doing. He's doing it online. So lucky I didn't wake him up thinking I was being helpful. Right. Okay, so I'm going to just cut this down now. And again, I'm not sure. I can't remember whether this lace wants to tear or not tear. Okay. Oh, I don't think it's really the best, but we'll see how it looks. Oh dear. No, it doesn't want to tear any further. Okay. Oh dear, dear. Right. Oh, right. Cut that and right. Okay. So let's take these and again, just like layer these. Oops, up here like that. So again, just. I mean, you don't have to glue these, to be honest. You could just take it straight to the sewing machine. I'm just gluing it because I think it will help when I get to the sewing machine, because then it won't be slipping and sliding because, you know, the lace, I don't think that black lace was. And actually, I don't think the first lot of ivory was. But this lace is, you know, elasticy. So obviously, if this is then on the sewing machine, it may just then be stretching out. So it's kind of like easier if it's actually glued on, because hopefully that's not going to then be happening. Got this bird, which that would look really nice on here, wouldn't it? Oops. Oh my goodness, I can't see now. Okay. So again, just ink this up a little bit. And then I think I'll go around this one a bit with gold, actually. I think that would look rather nice. Okay. Yeah, that looks gorgeous, doesn't it? Like that. So again, just glue that down. I love the way these look. They really do look like a little Victorian choker, don't they? Okay, pop that to one side. Right, last couple. So, yeah, we've got this one. So I've just got this, this piece of the ivory lace here. So, of course, use this. And then I don't know whether this would look very good layered on black. I suspect it's not really going to look very good on black. So we might try that crochet lace. So I can just ink this up a bit. Okay. Again, just take that down like that. Okay, and whoops. Like that. Again, just cut that at the edge. Right, let me see. I don't know whether this is going to have any florals that... Oh, this this floral I think would look good on there actually. So yeah, let's just take that on. Okay. Oh my goodness, how vintage does that look? It's got a really vintage kind of appearance to it, hasn't it? Yeah, really, really love how that looks. So again, might just quickly gold edge around there. I think just some, you know, some look really good with the gold edge, some don't. So yeah, it's nice to kind of have a few different ones, isn't it? Okay. Again, glue that on through the middle. Gorgeous. Love that combination. That's so pretty. I mean, it's funny, isn't it, how just those really simple things, you know, can transform, or, you know, just the look can be so very different just from having the different, you know, circle, the different colour circle piece. So, I mean, you know, you don't have to obviously use the circles. I mean, I just think they're quite nice to use. But yeah, I mean, you don't have to obviously use them. So, and the other thing that you could do is like this one, you could, because I think that looks a bit weird where we've got the straight edge at the top. So you could have it like that where it's coming down, although now I've moved it, I actually think, ooh, perhaps I prefer it like that. So yeah, maybe scrap that, that other idea, because maybe it did look rubbish. When I first moved it, I thought, oh, actually, I think that looks really good on this one. But yeah, then I sort of removed it and thought, oh, actually, I'm not liking it as much as I thought. So, okay, right. So that is those. Now, just going to check, because the other thing was I wondered whether we could have like a flower sort of a thing poking out. Now, I don't know whether that's going to look any good or not. So, let's see, again, let's just see. This might not be quite the right piece anyway, but oh look, it's too big. You can't really see any of that flower poking out. So yeah, it's pretty rubbish, to be honest. But again, I mean, sometimes you just can't tell until you try it. So if you've got, you know, a little kind of hint that something might look good, then it is worth trying, isn't it? Just to see. So I might have that one without the gold. So yeah, right. Now I'm going to take all of these to the sewing machine and then I'll be back. Okay, so I'm back from the sewing machine and I just stitched literally a zigzag stitch right through the middle of each of the strips. And then what I have got here are some pieces of paper. Now, this is that lovely marbling that I did with my daughter quite a long time ago now. And yeah, they've just been, you know, the marble sheets, they've just been sat there, not knowing really what to do with them. And I've also got some of my collage sheets, a little kind of offcut here, and obviously a full sheet. And then all we're going to do is make like little tiny pockets to put in a journal with our strips across the pocket, if you see what I mean. So let's just literally cut these down. So if I'm taking my marble sheet, now this is on scrapbook paper, so it's pretty robust and thick anyway. It's not, you know, it's not a flimsy sheet of paper or anything. It's quite a robust piece. And I'm just going to just cut it down so as it would fit hopefully into a journal as a pocket. So something like that looks good. And then again, what you could do is obviously rough this up. You know, these are merely suggestions and I'm not kind of saying that this is an essential thing to do. Personally, I like the roughed up edges. So, you know, for me, this is like yummy. It looks scrumptious. But I do realise that, you know, roughed up edges aren't for everybody. I'm going to then just ink around the edges just like here because I have some white showing and things, and it just, you know, it's just making it look a bit more of a finished piece, I guess, rather than just, you know, a piece of marbled paper that I was mucking around with my daughter making. You know, it just kind of brings something else to the table, I suppose. So, and then what I'm going to do, I think, is just gild the edges of this. Now, do I have any paint in here? Yes, I do have a bit. So let's just go around a bit with the the paint here. Don't want to have like gold everywhere, but yeah, just like in a few places, I think. So just, yeah, gild some of those edges and just across here, I think. Okay, like that. So yeah, that looks really nice, doesn't it? And you know, I mean, that literally is like nothing, you know. It's just a little marbled piece of paper that my daughter and I made, and you know, we've just inked and gilded up the edges. So let's have, I'm thinking, a green one on here. I mean, how gorgeous does that look? Looks lovely, doesn't it? And you know, I've done nothing to that at all. So what we could do is, of course, we could do some stamping or something in the background as well. I've got some script stamp here, and I'd take my black stays on. We could just have a little bit of script, maybe in just one or two places. So it's just, you know, and again, I like to just rough stamp, you know, so it's not like all over. We just have, you know, just random bits of stamping like that. Oh, I mean, that is so scrumptious, isn't it? I love how that looks, and literally it's like nothing at all. But how lovely does that look? So then what we'd want to do, now obviously I have to be careful because my ink paint is still actually wet. So what we want to do is kind of have this like a belly band. Now, depending on how floppy your fabric is, you may or may not want to reinforce this. So you could reinforce this at this point with maybe some, you know, paper or something like that on the back to stiffen it. It may be that your fabric actually is kind of like stiff enough. It's just, yeah, kind of up to you really, and how your fabric is. So what I'm going to do is just like run some hot glue, because you're not going to see that, straight down. And that's keeping it, you know, glued together. The hot glue also is pretty good, you know, at sort of, I was going to say robusting it. I mean, obviously that's not a word, but you know what I mean. At kind of, yeah, just making it a bit more kind of like less flimsy, more or less flimsy. Sorry, I don't know what's going on with my vocabulary. And then all I'm going to do is stick this down at each end. So it's then like a little belly band on my pockets. So like that. And like that. Okay. Now, obviously, this is kind of curling up, this paper, but once it were glued down onto a journal page, it would, of course, be flat. So, you know, that would change the kind of whole appearance of it. And then, you know, of course, you could decorate it up with some further things. Got here some of these, like, little flowers, could hang them off, or, oh, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, just kind of play around and, you know, could probably put some other bits and pieces on here if you wanted. I mean, personally, I think it looks pretty exactly how it is, but you know, if you wanted to have some other things kind of on there, you could always kind of tuck them in around, you know, just to, yeah, decorate it further. So let's just quickly pop this one down. Oops. Like that. And again, I mean, you wouldn't have to hot glue this. You could have stitched that down. I mean, I hot glued just because, you know, I'm here, but you know, I could always go around to the sewing machine and just stitch right the way around the whole, you know, 4 sides or 4 edges, and that would look really super pretty as well. And then you could just finish it off with something on the edge, I'm thinking. So maybe like a bow on one edge, or a flower or something like that, maybe a butterfly. You know, just play around and kind of see what you think. Or even on your circle, you could just put something on your circle. You know, I think there's quite a few different things you could do. So I'm just going to put this little bow down here to finish that off. How gorgeous does that look? Really, really pretty, isn't it? So let's just put that to one side and do another one. So let's do one from the collage sheet this time, just so as we get, you know, a couple of different sort of looks going on. So let's take this bird, because that's really pretty, isn't it? So again, all I'm going to do is just cut this down to make my pocket. So, oops, about here. Okay, and then just up there, like that. And then, you know, again, I'm just going to rough the edges. You know, like I say, I mean, that's just something I like to do, and I'm not in any way saying you have to do that. But, you know, if you like that look, I just think it adds to the, you know, vintageness and the rustic kind of look of it if you've got the roughed up edges. But yeah, you don't obviously have to do that. And then just going to ink around on the edges like that. Okay, like that. Oh, I mean, how gorgeous does that look? And to be honest, again, just like with the last one, that's nothing on there. It's literally just a collage sheet and just this piece, which, you know, took us like no time whatsoever to put this, you know, together. Again, I'm going to just reinforce this with some hot glue across here. Like that. And then, do we want to have some gold edges on this? I'm just really loving the gold at the moment. I mean, we have got gold around the circle, haven't we? So, yeah, let's just do a bit of gold. Just do a bit of gold edging, you know, because then it ties it in with the circle. Okay, like that. Oops. Okay. So I don't want to smother it in gold, but yeah, just a few gold touches. And then this is going to go, oops, across here. So again, like I say, I mean, you could just literally stitch this on, don't have to glue it. I've got some words here, so let's just see if we might have a word, or we might have a label or something on here. Whoops. You know, could put like a postage stamp or something on here. Yeah, I don't think I want the words. Got butterfly. Again, I mean, I'm just like literally scanning the desk and sort of seeing, oh, what have I got? What have I got laying around that I could possibly use? So yeah, just kind of grabbing anything that happens to be laying in my path. Okay. Like that. Okay, just again ink this up. So I mean, the butterfly looks quite pretty. Oh, I've got one of my street names. Maybe we would like that. Oh, how pretty does that look? Yeah, I'm gonna have that. Okay. Oh, that looks gorgeous, doesn't it? Absolutely gorgeous. So, yep, again, just for speed, I'm going to hot glue this into place rather than stitch it. So just glue it there. And then obviously glue it on the other side. Like that. I mean, how gorgeous does that look? You know, and there's nothing to that whatsoever, but it looks just beautiful, doesn't it? And you know, it doesn't really need anything else. It looks just lovely, just exactly as it is. So, you know, I mean, again, if you wanted to put some other things on, you could always put some extra trim, you know, maybe like coming off at the bottom. You could put, you know, yeah, like I say, I mean, you could put a butterfly on there or something. You could put a bow on just like we did on the last one. Oops. You know, so you could decorate these up. You wouldn't have to leave them plainish, but I actually quite like the simplicity. It's not very often that I say less is more, but yeah, I think actually for these, I think less maybe is more. And of course, another thing that you can do, so I mean, this one is vellum, this one is card, but the other thing that you could do, of course, is then you could glossy accent the circle so that it was then actually, you know, shiny instead of just flat, you know, flat card. So I think there's loads of possibilities with what you can do with these. I just really, really, really love them, I have to say. Yeah, so I hope that you like them, and yeah, maybe you will give some a try. And yeah, thank you so much to Tanya from Tatty Treasures. Really kind of like, you know, inspired me. As soon as I saw them, I thought, oh, I know exactly what I could do with those. So yeah, thank you so much, Tanya, and I will try and remember to link her video below. If I don't, please nudge me. Like I always say, it's not deliberate. I just am literally rubbish with things like that. So yeah, I hope you like them. Have fun if you decide to make some, and I will see you guys soon. Thanks then. Bye.